Hello everybody. So we have another snapshot out now. It's 13 week 2A and they've added quite a few things. For one, they now have custom death messages. They have a lot of new ones added, and as you can see, there's new message for falling to your death from different places. That one's just a high place. There's getting knocked off an edge, other similar things. As well, they've changed the hopper to actually require iron now, and there's a little bit more we can do with that. But first, back to what we can do with death messages. So we can take now, where is it? Zombie, yes, that's the one I had. So we can take now, put a zombie in, and give him a name. And now when we spawn those mobs, it'll actually have that name. And let's try this. Let's go. Give it a random name here. We can go like this. Give him a sword. Now, if he kills us, I guess it doesn't show the item name, but there's supposed to be able to say that it killed you with a certain weapon, but I guess that's not working right now. Or at least not with the zombie there. So, next thing, we have a trap chest. We can put it in here and say something like okay. When we place this down, it shows up in the top here. And then the regular one we could put it in, and we just name it, and we can put it down as well. This could be actually quite useful for a sorting system where you want a little more detail on it. You can put, the item in front, but when you click it, you have the actual name of what's going to be in it. Now let's see. If we take just a regular chest, this is what I'm wondering. Yes, despite the fact that we have pulled one of them away, it still gives it the same name if you connect a second one. So you only need to do one if you're going to do a double chest. And to go along the same lines as that, if we break this second chest, it should just pull up and say it's a normal one. Yep, normal trap chest. But when we break this, does it pull up again and say the special one? No. So if you break your chest, it no longer shows the name on it. So that's that. What they've done now with the quartz is they've actually added blocks into it. So there's a regular block of quartz, just nice smooth white color, looks really nice. They've also added in a stair, so works the same as any of the other stairs. Can even make corners out of them. Everything's the same, similar texture to this, just smooth white. We have a half slab. Can be put down same way as all the other half slabs, of course. And then they have two new ones. They have this chiseled one, similar to the sandstone, just made with the two half slabs stacked on top of each other. And then they have a pillared one. It's actually made with two full blocks put on top of each other, and it makes like a pillar out of quartz. So that's actually the new blocks they've added in. And now onto another change that they've made. Here, one second, we've got to grab something. Not that. Okay, gotta run down here to the end. Okay, one thing that they've added in is they've supposedly improved the aim of the skeletons. So one thing they can do is they can actually hit you from farther away. This guy doesn't like to look at me, but so here we're about 10 blocks away. Normally they'd kind of miss most of the time this far away, but Let's see what he does. Maybe these half slabs I put in here to prevent spawning are messing with him. I had a little bit of issue getting him to attack me at all earlier. So, okay, let's punch him. Now he'll attack us. We're about 10 blocks away. And nothing. Come on, attack me. Okay, from here. Now let's try it. Shoot at me. Okay, he hits me pretty regularly from 10 blocks. But he still misses. Now if I come out to 15 blocks, which is normally a little bit too far, he still keeps shooting at me and he can still hit me pretty well. Yep, and that's 15 blocks out, is right here. So, skeletons have a little bit more range. That should make them a bit harder for those of you who want the challenge. Now, on to a few things they've added. They said that they added the ability for a trap chest to actually detect through walls, but this doesn't work. You put it up against a wall and nothing. Got the second one here. Same here, nothing out the back. However, I did a little bit of testing and found that if you place the chest on top and use a comparator to pull out the back, it works. So you can pull it out through the bottom with a comparator and have a signal, and that way you can have it completely surrounded on all sides, and that way it doesn't look like it's as trapped. Normally the other ones you could see an outside where the comparator was connected to it, or just a redstone signal. These ones can be completely hidden, so that's cool. And another thing, I left it over here, having to do with the redstone signals. Previously, any sort of box, when you did this, had to reach, the 15th, 1/15th of the full before it would work. Now, as long as there is something in here, it gives you a minimum of 1 redstone signal. So, yep, as you can see, it just will pull out no matter how little is in it, as long as something is in it. As well, we've got the new system where an item hopper won't pull or fill an object if it's a redstone signal on it. I have all of these filled, so as you can see, the stone doesn't do anything. Turn it on and it will pull the stone down into here. Now I turned this off for a reason, because what I want to show you is we have a chest full at the top, cobblestone, and on the side we have coal going into the furnace. We turn this on, it'll fill the side of it and put fuel into the furnace. Turn the top on, it'll put cobblestone into the top, and so now we can actually have fully automated setups for smelting. Now, as soon as it fills up, it'll start putting in here because this is off. But if I turn it on, it'll pull it out, and it'll continuously pull out the blocks as they go. So, now the semi-automatic setups that we had already designed before can be fully automated due to being able to turn on and off the hoppers. There's other, ways we can now check things, like, for example, we have this hopper here. We could actually also check if an item is in a hopper. You don't have to use the full stacks anymore. You can also there was a previous issue where if the first item didn't match what you threw on top of it, it wouldn't pull it in. That has now been fixed, so it'll still suck in items even if it's not the first item in the slot. And that's what they have new with the hoppers. Now, onto what they've added in that Dinnerbone has been hinting about, and that is the TNT minecart. Simply just a minecart, TNT above it, and it makes this cart. So there's two things about it. If you just turn it on, it'll go fall off the end or whatever, nothing, Now, however, if you put a powered rail after it, what happens is it'll continue along powered rail just fine until it reaches a certain point. But once it's exited a power rail, the next power rail it hits makes it explode. So that allows you to, I don't know exactly what you would do with that. This is the one that's a little more useful. It's a new item called the activator rail, simply made with just 6 iron on either side, no wood or anything else needed. Now, if your activator rail is turned on, and you do the same thing, it'll shoot the minecart off, and what will happen, that didn't show up very well. Let's try this again. Get some of this rail. I forgot, no matter what happens, if a lit piece of TNT reaches the end of the track, it will always explode. So let's put an activator here. Let's pull it off of our item frame. Okay, so let's turn this on. We'll put this in place. And when we turn this on, it'll light up as it gets past there, and as it hits the end, explodes. So that can be used for, I don't know, some sort of timed explosion. I'd guess this is something as well that the adventure map makers will work on, making cool things to do with it. However, for this snapshot, that's pretty much it from in-game things. There are a few other changes behind the scenes, those mainly being to the texture packs. They have a new setup now where every block has its own texture file. Should make it so the texture pack makers can get everything updated a lot faster. As well, every texture can now be animated. There's a simple way of setting it up, and it uses just frame by frame setup, and there's defaults that make it so, you know, everything just works normally. However, regular things that are animated, such as lava, fire, the clock, the compass, that have multiple settings, those still have their own they have their own specific settings for having an animation, but any block now can have animation. So there should be cool things coming out with texture pack makers out of that stuff. It'll be nice to see. Like now we can do things like have animated torches and animated redstone, though how they do that, how the texture pack makers does that is, you know, up to them. But there are really nice things that can be done, as well as there's support for HD texture packs, and what it does is it simply checks the files for the HD versions, and if you don't have a complete HD texture pack, it will still revert to the original texture if the ones are missing. So even if there's broken things, you don't have weird empty blocks or things that disappear or things that are blank. But that's it for this snapshot. Hope you guys excited about what's coming. Thank you for watching. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see more. I'll see you guys next time.